What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hustle Kitchen podcast. I'm your host, Husaini, with my co-host, Omar Rana. Today's guest, quite a interesting guest, something that we didn't expect to have on the show. We have Adel Jawad from Span Debt Collection. We talk everything in relation to collecting debt, how business get in debt, how you can recover money, and much more. So if you want to know how you can get your money back, then watch this podcast. Adel Jawad.
Yes.
It's not very often I sit down with debt collectors. I normally run away from them. Okay. So it's an interesting episode. Welcome on the show.
Yes. Thank you very much, Hussain. Thank you very much, Omar.
Yeah, I'm very interested. What makes someone pursue a career in debt collection? Does it take a special mind? Like, yo, I'm going to do that with my time.
Okay, I'll tell you the story of how it started.
Good.
I'm an accountant. I was an accountant for six years.
Right.
Then I joined another company as a logistic. Then for 1 year. And in 2004, I joined the family business, which is debt collection.
So it's a family business of debt collection.
Business, which I like it, and I remain there.
Okay.
This is really interesting. I'm going to have a lot of questions on this episode. And I think for those of us who've lived in the West, you've lived in London, I lived in Australia and London, we don't really like debt collectors, you know what I mean?
It's not that I personally don't dislike or like. I have no.
They're doing their job. They're doing their job.
Their reputation is not the best in the West.
It depends. It depends on the collection agency itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the collection agencies, they might use hard words.
Yeah.
From the beginning, in order to put the pressure and to pay. And there's a collection agencies where they have a policy and procedures, and while speaking to a debtor, what you should say and what you should not. So do it and don't. And you have to follow it.
Interesting.
And you have to follow it.
Have you seen how the companies in the West operate? Like, you hear stories about some big dude turning up at grandma's house, like, yo, grandma, give me the money.
Well, in West, let us say, in the UK or in Germany, I mean, now, first of all, we need to know that there's a GDPR, General Data Protection Law, in Europe. And from my experience with the collection agencies in UK, no, they are using the legal channels. They are using proper words in order to get the debtor paid. Yes, some of the debtors, they might play around.
Yep.
They might be all of them a behavior defaulters or a bad debtors. Okay, some of them might be through financial issue, or there was some disputes between the creditor and the debtor, and they're trying to resolve it. The collector trying to resolve the disputes in order to get the money paid either half or discounted. But there's a debtors, I mean, they are breaking their promises. They are promising you to pay, and they will disappear. And you will...
It's normal human behavior.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's normal human behavior.
I mean, when you're struggling, you don't have the cash.
But I was going to come on to this because there are, in the UK, I can only speak to that because I studied law there. You've got CVAs, you've got different creditor voluntary agreements, you've got different legal structures that protect both sides, I would say. Are there things like that here?
In Bahrain?
Yeah.
So in terms of protection, we have, I think it was in 2019, PDPL, Personal Data Protection Law. But in terms of collection, if we say we have a law within collection industries.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Still.
So there's no like voluntary agreements, like creditor voluntary agreements. Are you familiar with how they work in England?
No, I have not worked with them.
So
no.
basically, if you...
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I think it's people who have studied law or been through
Maybe.
this channel then will be familiar with this. But and this is some old knowledge. Probably like someone should check that I'm right. But I think it's like if you can't pay your bills, so you're going to essentially bankrupt, you can say to all of the debt companies like yourself or people you owe money to, I owe you whatever, 1,000. And I only have this much money, so I'm going to make a new agreement with you that I'm going to pay this much money. I think it discounts how much debt you have, and it stops people chasing you. And once it's like an independent thing, so people like the thing you were saying about running away from debt, it solves that problem.
I understand what you're saying now. I understand. I just didn't know it was called that.
Let me explain to you two
Please.
things.
Yeah.
We are working in 2 stages.
Right.
Amicable, collection, and we have legal collection.
Okay.
In terms of amicable, I will send you a demand letter, I'll be contacting you, or I'll be visiting you, negotiating with you in order to pay. If you pay as a full, we'll close the case. You will pay an installment. Okay, you will continue paying installment, in which in between sometimes they will not follow, some of the letters, not all, they will not follow the plan. Or if you are trying to run away or not answering us, then we don't have any option.
Travel ban.
Travel ban? No, we just take the case to
Legal.
Yes, we inform the debtor that if you didn't pay, that we don't have any option. We don't want to go to legal. We don't want to take illegal action. But if you are continue not paying or ignoring us, then my client will say, we have no option but to take this debtor to the legal.
So the person who hired you chooses.
Yeah, actually, can I take us back into? Can you explain the setup? Like, first of all, are your clients business clients or personal? As in, like, are you calling companies or individuals?
See, at the span, we are concentrating on B2B.
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 Okay.
Not only on Bahrain, on international level.
Okay.
Okay, so like if a company out there hasn't paid me my business, I can come to you and be like, yo, bro,
Yes.
get my money.
Recently, I got an inquiry from a Bahrain company. They have a outstanding amount not paid from a Chinese company.
Oh, really?
Okay. But you're dealing with
And we have
Bahraini
vice
companies,
versa as
correct?
Oh, really?
Not
Okay.
only in Bahrain, we are covering whole Middle East.
Okay.
So does the business, like, does it matter what the business is? It can be anything.
Yes. No matter which industry.
How does the business work? So a company contacts you and say, these people owe me money. How much do you charge them? Or is it on collection? Is it a fee?
Percentage?
Is it a commission?
It's a percentage. We are working on no collection, no fees.
Oh.
Okay.
We will take the case. We will work on it.
Yeah.
If we collect, we will charge the agreed percentage.
Okay.
If we do not collect, for sure there is a reason for why the collection has not been paid. Might be the debtor, he shut it down his business, or he went out of the country, or he went for a bankruptcy, or there is a dispute which both of them they agree and not to pay. Once we collect the money, we'll ask for our percentage, and the percentage, it depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the area, it depends on the age of the case, and it depends on the value of the case.
Okay.
If you ask me I will give you Adel, I have a debt of 10,000, and
Yeah.
this is the commission is 2%,
Yeah.
or there is a 1 million for. You can just take it depends.
Okay.
The higher goes the value,
The lower the
the
percentage.
lower percentage. Yes.
Okay. So what's the difference of going to you and just going to a lawyer then?
Guarantee to get my commission, or to guarantee to get the money.
No, for me as a business, if I'm like, yo, this dude hasn't paid me, like my first step would be just go to a lawyer. But clearly there's another step. You can come to you. Like, but why?
But they have lawyers.
Yeah, so but then why not just go straight to the lawyer?
You want to resolve it amicably, or to resolve it resolve it.
Basically,
through-
you're the step. Instead of saying, here's my lawyers, you're like, yeah, speak to this guy. We'll do this.
The amicable step.
Amicable, okay.
The amicable step.
Interesting.
Okay, so with the, let's say I owe some company 10,000 dinars, as you said, and they come to you.
Did you owe them or no?
No.
So we can just sign the contract after we...
But let's just say I did, right? I wanna understand how on the other side. So they come to you, they're like, Hussein, his company owes me 10,000 dinars. You come to collect the debt from me. Am I then are you negotiating with me here? Like, can I be like, yo, I don't have the 10,000, I can pay you 200, 300 a month until it's finished? Or how does that negotiation work?
Before we go to negotiate, for sure, you have a case which for BD 10,000, it's very important that you have the documentation, the invoices, the packing list, the communication history, for example, delivery order. So we have all of these, which will help us and to make us understand about the case more and more. I might ask you if there's any dispute, if you contacted the debtor, what he told you. So I get understand, and so I know how we can start. So once we going to start establish communication with the debtor, what you are doing, first of all, we'll try to make sure that the company is existing, the company is active.
Yeah.
Okay. From legal perspective, because we have been through some cases which they are bankruptcy or they have closed or they have sold, and this is a different story. They have sold with the debt or without the debt.
Want to come back to those points. So continue, but I want to come back to those
all
points.
very interesting.
Once we agree, so we will start communicating with the debtor that we have to inform the debtor who we are and what is the reason for our call. And from here, the negotiation will start. Some of them they might pay. Some of them they will ask us for a just certain period to wait because we are going through financial, or if they can provide us a discount in order to pay, or some of them, yes, if we can pay in an installments, 2 months, 6 months, 7 months, but we cannot go longer unless our client or agrees to give such installment period. So some of them, no, we are trying to reach them. They just ignore us.
Okay, so
even if we call them, even we send them an email, even if we visit them.
So you visit them, you actually
Yes,
go
we do
there. So in China, you might turn up like that case.
We have a partner in China.
Okay.
So we'll ask them to
So
visit.
say, how's the Chinese?
debt collectors work together, don't they?
Yes, we work together.
I mean, like, I had a credit card in Australia.
In?
Australia.
Yes.
There was a small balance on it. I came to Bahrain. It's like, I'm in a new country. Paying it off, and then you forget to pay it off. And a debt collection company in Bahrain calls me for the credit card that I owed in Australia.
It happens.
I was like, wow. I was like, how did you find me? They're like, oh, you have a website in your name. It's like, interesting.
Yes.
But then they offered me a discount.
Which is good.
So discounts are normal?
Yes. Some of the financial institutions, some of the telecommunication companies maybe, some of the companies as well, B2B, not only B2C, they provide, okay, you want to pay, okay, I will give you 5% discount, 10%, just pay me my money.
What kind of threshold of debt should a business be thinking about before to contact you? Is like 100 dinars suitable to come to you? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? 1 million?
Well, just let me go back to Hussain.
All right.
Sure.
We used to get cases for people from our area.
Okay.
They went to Europe.
Okay.
They hire a car, rent a car. They made an accident.
Yeah.
They left the car and they came back.
Wait, without having insurance?
There is an insurance, but they have to pay from their side as well.
The excess, etc.
So they don't pay and they come back
Okay.
to their country,
Okay.
and we will get the case.
Okay.
Wait.
They are
So
still-
wait.
they are still-
So they have an accident in Europe,
Yeah.
In
but
Europe.
they have insurance.
They have
No,
insurance.
sometimes
Some
you're
of
not
them you have
covered
to pay
fully.
in excess. Sometimes you
Yeah.
have to pay a premium something.
A premium, yeah.
Okay, and they didn't pay that.
And they didn't pay.
And they came back to
They
Bahrain.
came back to Bahrain. To Bahrain. Let us say it's not Bahrain.
Yeah,
there is some
okay,
cases
in our
Bahrain,
area, in our area. Okay.
area.
Okay.
And we get the case.
Bah.
Do you buy it?
No,
Do you
we don't buy
commission only it?
No, we don't buy debts.
Okay.
We, as I said, we work on no collection office.
Okay.
We'll take the case. We'll work on it.
Okay.
But we don't buy debts.
There's people out
maybe
there-
in future.
So here's the interesting point about this. So if someone was in the UK, for example, like you said, crashes a car, owes money, leaves the car, comes to Bahrain or anywhere in the Middle East. You get the debt. Now, can you legally take this person to court in Bahrain, for example, for something he did in the UK if he doesn't pay?
That's a great question.
This is very.
Everyone's now listening to this.
Uh,
Before he answers while he thinks about it, I would just like to point out there's an extra part of insurance you can buy that makes your excess zero. Please, everybody, be buying that insurance because you won't be in this situation. Now, what's the answer?
Well, I'm so curious.
See, we have got a case against a Bahraini company.
Okay.
They bought machines from outside and they didn't pay. So what he did, we registered. They paid one installment and they stopped. So we took this case and we registered it in Bahrain.
Okay. Legally.
Yes, we registered it in Bahrain.
Okay.
Sometimes it depends on the agreement. Okay, for any
Because car rental would
legal
say
matter
the
or anything, it will be most of them B2B. Because I'm working on a B2B, it depends on the agreement between the buyer and seller or between the creditor. I'm not going to say a debtor because still, sorry, they are still customers between the customer and the creditor. It depends on the agreement. What is the agreement in law, governance? What is the clause here? It will be Bahrain.
What's the jurisdiction clause?
Yes. It will be arbitration in France or in Holland or be within the same country which they are going to sign, or it will be Bahrain. Or they can agree. If there is any legal matter or there is dispute between two parties, upon their agreement to take it into which country. So it depends on the agreement also as well. So that's why sometimes, most of the times, if the creditor or our clients would like to go to legal, yes, we'll ask them to see the agreement, what it says.
But I feel like in the individual case of that car rental company, it's not legally binding here, is it?
As far as you have all the documentation with you, I think yes. Although we didn't do it.
What I think would
we didn't
happen
take
in that,
any legal action against these.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you could.
But we didn't.
I think what would happen, I'm stretching my mind here, I think what would happen is in England, they would have to raise a case.
Sure.
And then apply for that case to be transferred to Bahrain.
Thank
and
you
in
very
that
much.
case, then they could be taken.
I mean,
to
there's
court.
real criminals out there who they can't bring back, you know, when they want to try them in their own country.
In
So
this
what they will
situation,
do-
that person's here. You're saying if that person's in Bahrain, then the case gets transferred from UK courts to Bahraini courts. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Yeah, especially if there is an agreement between Bahrain.
If there's an
and
agreement,
UK.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so-
you don't need it. The courts can just
National
decide.
agreement.
I don't think you
International, I
need
mean.
that. I think the court can just transfer the case. I don't think you need a country-to-country agreement.
But you're assuming.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
He studied law. So,
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
so when you reach to an execution, okay, you will find out that the guy who went to Bahrain, you will take this execution, and you will, if there is an agreement, you will implement it in Bahrain. But for such cases, to be frank with you, till today we have not taken any such case.
I think the cost of doing that probably
Because they're
outweighs-
small amounts as well,
Yes.
right? How does it work in the banking sector? Because when someone has in the credit card, loans, whatever situation, they don't pay it off. The bank then transfers it to a debt collection agency. I don't know about here, but like for some reason I'm assuming like in the West, do they buy this debt from the bank cheap at a discounted price?
Well, there is a companies around the world, they are buying consumer cases. There's a few, I know them, that they are buying consumer.
Wait, you know them in Bahrain?
No.
No,
They're
outside.
They're
That's
located
what I'm saying. In
outside.
the West. In the West. No, in the West.
yes.
In the West.
For sure, there is certain conditions. For sure, if the debt amount is maybe 1,000 BD,
Yeah.
they might buy it for a 400 or 300 or 200. I'm not into this industry yet.
Yeah, no, because I feel like in the banking sector, they write it off as bad debt in their balance sheet, get rid of it, sell it to a debt collection agency, and it's gone as far as they're concerned.
Yes, and it depends on maybe the central bank regulation. That yes, as a bank you can sell it, or no, you cannot. You cannot sell it.
So you're saying CBB rules
CBB,
Dictate it.
Central Bank of Bahrain,
So is that allowed
or
to-
Saudi Arabia, or well, frankly saying, I was trying for one of the to be a mediator
Okay.
for one of the Swedish or Malaysian-based company, which they are buying consumer cases for specific areas, for specific nationalities only, because they concentrate.
Which ones?
They are concentrating.
Can you name these nationalities?
where I have my own office in
Yeah.
certain countries within Asia Pacific. I have offices there, and I'm concentrating on consumer cases within these countries. Okay, I can buy from the banks the cases for this specific nationalities from the area, and also from other countries outside, because
You're not.
So,
I'm assuming you're not going to say the nationalities. What
let's
continent?
guess
What
on
continent
this.
are these
I don't think
nationalities
it's based on nationality. I think what you've said is, let's say you're a Bahraini business and this is your business model. You're then going to go to Singapore, all these different countries, and say, I want to buy the Bahraini debt because I have a recourse with them in my home country. So it's not about British people are bad. It's that company understanding that
and
consumer
they legally can do something.
back home.
So they will come, for example, to Bahrain. They will work. They will go for a loan or credit card, and for some reasons they don't pay, and they go back. To their own.
So the
country.
Singapore company
So
is
we
buying
call it skip
Singap-
cases.
Okay.
Skip
Cases.
went out.
Yeah, so the skip case, it's the person's buying their own nationalities, debts around the world to skip when they're skipping back home.
Okay.
So
Makes
they are
sense.
there. But it was in 2012, 2013, I have contacted with a number of banks, but I've contacted banks in, I think, Bahrain, it was Qatar as well, UAE, but as per the law, no, they cannot sell.
They can't sell.
can't sell.
They can't sell.
So
They
in-
can't
so in
sell.
Bahrain-
it was in 2013.
But can they give it to you? Like your no win, no money? So they can't sell it to you, but they're going to give it to you?
Commission based.
I didn't ask them, frankly, because some of them, they were our clients as well.
So do you know what the situation is with banks in these countries that you mentioned? When they have debts, what happens to the debt?
Either they hire collection agency within Bahrain,
Okay.
to find out who's looking, and the rest few banks, because I used to work with number of banks within the region,
Yeah.
for skip cases where we have partners, so we receive these cases and we transfer it to our partners in any country
Yeah.
the guy is, or the debtor is located.
Yeah.
Now,
Wherever he's hiding.
hiding, no, some of them, they will go back to their mother town.
Yeah.
Some of them, no, they will go back to their country, but they will go to another area.
Yeah.
So they will go to another area. So sometimes it will be because in some of the nationality in their passport is mentioned you are from which hometown or from which city.
Yeah.
So it will be easier.
Where
for
he's
the
born.
collection, see where he born, where he was living, because there's some addresses, I think. So yes, but if he left or he leaves or when he is back to his mother country and he went to another city, so yes, then you need to trace to find out where he's living in order.
Where's the most random place you've had to look for someone, like North Pole? Did you send someone to the North Pole, like knock on the door, like, yo?
You said no.
North
Pole.
Pole. North Pole.
North Pole. Okay.
Yeah, like, where's the most random place? You're like, that's where they've gone to.
You have stayed North Pole.
Obviously, there's no one
No,
North
I
Pole.
mean-
It's just using it as a crazy
Yeah,
example.
a friend
What
of
is
mine
the
just-
craziest place you find someone?
Wait, friend just go
we have a
there?
lot of countries in Bahrain. We have more than 200-300 countries. So, see, different nationalities.
Where's the most random one? Though? Like,
Random one.
Yeah, obscure.
Well,
Liechtenstein.
no.
That's a rich place. They have that over there.
We need, as a respect, I prefer not to mention.
That's fine.
As a respect to
them.
to the nationality
Sure.
of
Sure.
an arrest.
It was Santa Claus. It was North Pole.
But I'm curious now. So, how much do you use social media to track these people?
How's my
That's your number one tool, I assume.
Yeah, as a
Instagram, Facebook.
For consumers, yes. But for B2B, B2B, some of them they focus on all the platforms, some of them on few platforms, some of them only on LinkedIn. Only
LinkedIn,
on
yeah.
Yes. But yes, in order to find out if these companies are active, yes.
Yeah.
We will, for example, we'll communicate with the Chamber of Commerce, or we do a site visit.
I mean, the easiest thing would be to call them and pretend you're buying, wouldn't it? Like they're going
As
to
a
be eager to
customer.
sell to you.
Just if you just go online, type the company name, enter, and it'll come details. Just
Yeah, you
take
have
the
to. You have to
phone.
be.
Just when you go ask a random question,
Yeah.
you know that they are active.
It's interesting because in today's world, you'd have to be really intentionally a criminal hiding from this debt to not be found. With website, phone number, social media profiles, everything. Everyone is traceable online unless you're trying to hide.
I have got a case from US, and it was he was a doctor,
Okay.
and it seems to me he made a huge mistake,
Okay.
and he left US.
A local resident.
No, he is from Middle East.
Okay.
So we received the case, and we are trying to chase the guy. Nothing. Zero information.
Off the grid.
Nothing.
Must have been a big mistake.
How big? How much money was this mistake?
It was close to $500,000.
Wow.
US dollar.
Okay.
$500,000 a mistake. I
$500,000.
don't-
We cannot find him. Nothing. LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We have tried all the platforms. We have tried other tools as well. The guy disappeared.
But he was a registered doctor.
Sorry?
He was a registered doctor.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor, yes.
And you still haven't found him.
No, we have closed the case.
You closed the case. Khalas,
We
you
have
can't
closed
find
it.
him.
No, we can't find him. We can't find him.
He's just
It
what-
happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It happens. And sometimes we got a case against a company, and we'll go to the company. So when we do a site visit, what's happening? It's a different company.
Oh, really?
How come? It's a completely different company. And when we walk inside, and we said about the debtor name, said, we don't know about this name. Yeah,
Who are you
is the
talking
same
about?
location, same street, and said, no, come on.
Interesting.
It happens. It happens.
Okay, so I've never understood this properly, and I know like bankruptcy laws are very recent in Bahrain, a couple of years. What is the bankruptcy law like here? What does that actually mean? So if as a company, I can go bankrupt in Bahrain?
Well, you have to provide proof to the court.
That I'm bankrupt?
And there's a certain documentation.
Okay.
There's a bank statement. You have to show your assets. You need to present it to the court.
Okay.
And it depends on the court to accept it or not accept it, because we have similar case again.
Okay.
They apply for a bankruptcy. The court said no, and I think they appeal it. That they want to go for a court, because there's a certain. I'm not too more into a bankruptcy law, where we have a lawyer here now. You can just explain it to us
I
more.
don't know
That's not a
Bahrain
Bahrain
law.
law, because this is the question mark of the Bahrain law.
Okay, someone's watching and you're a lawyer who knows Bahraini law. We're
And
inviting.
bankruptcy.
Yeah, we're
About
inviting
the
you on.
bankruptcy, you had to, as I said, you have to present all the documentation, and the creditor, they have to submit how much. Okay, and there's another case. There was the court accept their case, and they appoint what do you call it, a bankruptcy trustee.
Okay.
Which is, I think, most probably it will be an audit firm or accounting firm.
Okay.
So if you have anything, you just go there. Okay, submit your invoices, your documentation, your proof. Then the bankruptcy trustee might negotiate with you. If it's 10,000, okay, you can go for 5,000 or 2,000. You know, it's the situation.
Yeah.
If you go bankrupt, they cannot pay you in full.
Yeah.
Because some of the companies, they don't just bankrupt and close it and go. No, they want to be in a business.
Yeah.
But because of the financial situation
Yeah.
which they have been through, okay, they go for a bankruptcy, and they will reschedule their debts.
Their debt, yeah.
And a bank trustee will handle their case and communicate with the creditors. Because I had another case similar to this
Okay.
one. I have communicated with the bankruptcy trustee, which he's told me, you have to, which you have to submit all your documentation, proof of the documentation, because they are going to collect from all the creditors, and they will be submitted to the judge.
When you talk about
But still, this debtor, they want to remain in a business.
they want to remain in
They don't
business.
want to shut down and go, no.
Yeah, which makes sense. And I just wanted to clarify, like when you talk about bankruptcy and collect documents, etc. In a limited liability company, the assets that you're talking about is for the company, right? Not the owner or the individual.
Owners, it comes when, this is what I heard from one of the lawyers maybe
Okay.
2 or 3 years back. They can, but I think if it was a mistake, a human mistake, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember, but yes, they will be on the company, but I can't just take a case against the owner, if this mistake, I think, but I'm not sure, you need to prove it or you don't need to prove it that this mistake, which lead to this issue or to this debt, it's because of the owner or the managing director, for example, or the person who's responsible in the office, for example, or about the company. I think in certain, not in all situation, yeah, in certain situation, but I need to double check because I have heard it 3 years back.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to just to remember it, but
Interesting.
Yeah. So is debt collection a good business?
Alhamdulillah, and I consider
There's a lot of debt in this country.
everywhere. See, everywhere you go, there is a debts.
Of course.
Everywhere.
But Bahrain's such a small place. Like, it has got enough debt to make it a good business.
As I said, I'm working on a B2B. I'm concentrating on a local, yes, and I'm concentrating more on international level to get cases for the Middle East. You know, the size of, export from outside to the to the Middle East is it's an excellent number. It's an excellent number.
How long do you recommend?
How
long do you recommend a company waits? Like, for example, let's say people owe us money. How long should we wait before we come to you to chase the money?
It depends on your policy.
Like, how long should I let my clients relax before I come to you and like, yo, let's get the money back?
There is companies, their policy is within 30 days. If you didn't pay,
Debt collection?
that collection as early stage.
No way.
There is, not in Bahrain.
What do you mean as early stage?
It's an early stage.
So just immediately?
But what they do, some of them, they inform their customers in advance that in case of 30 days you didn't pay, or for collecting the money or collecting the invoice, we are not going to collect. There's another company which will be contacting you, because suddenly if I, as a collection agency, I contacted you, say, what's happening? Why you are taking to the collection agency?
Yeah.
But in advance,
Shocks them.
Yeah, shock. I'm not going to deal with you. And in order to not to lose my customers or my clients, I inform them in advance that
If you
for
don't
collection
Yeah.
invoice, there is another company which they'll be communicating with you.
What's the name of your company?
Span Collection and Credit Management.
Span, like SPAN?
SPAN.
Okay, guys. So, if someone owes you money and is not paying you, and you're chasing and chasing, check out Span Collection. Like, you know, I swear, if someone from a debt collector called you, you'd pay faster, psychologically.
I don't know.
But you probably won't deal with that company again because you're like, oh, I don't trust this client
That's a
anymore.
good question for you. Do you think that makes the difference?
See, for us, let us just mention something very important. When we work for our client, we don't work only just to collect the money and pay money and that. No.
Oh.
The reputation of my clients or my partners is very important. The way I'm going to chase, or the way I'm going to talk, or the way I'm going to negotiate with the debtor, it makes a difference. Because always I'm telling my clients, either consider us as your internal collection department, or consider us as a strategic partner. It's a win-win situation at the end. Their reputation, my client reputation is very important. There might be some clients telling me, Adel, I don't care. Just get me my money back. Whatever you want to do, do.
Oh, really?
Yes, they want money. There was an outstanding.
You send the boys around.
No.
With the bats and the hammers.
But most of them, yes, we are telling them, see, to protect our reputation, even if it's one debtor or two debtor, their reputation, it makes a difference for us, our clients.
I saw something very hilariously true that, I'm going to see if you've ever done something like this. In America, the police, they wanted some people. I don't know what their crimes were, but they were just like wanted human beings.
Okay.
And they couldn't find these people. Like, they weren't responding. Like situations you've described. Like, you've called them, you sent people around. They just disappeared. You know what they did?
What?
They did something that was genius. Are you aware of this? No. All right, what would you do, Hussain? I'm going to throw out the challenge.
What if I can't find someone?
So these are criminals for whatever reason. I don't think they were like murderers and stuff. They were just like wanted for different stuff. Right, so remove the crime out of your mind. But they're ignoring you. You cannot get hold of these people.
Can't find them or can't get hold of them?
Like, they're just not responding.
Okay.
All right, and you need to do them. What's your genius strategy? Because whoever thought of this, pretty good.
I'd put a reward on social media for getting my stuff back.
I think they already
let the people do it. Let the people do it.
Come on, you turn people into vigilante justice.
Yeah, I'll go on Instagram like, yo, anyone finds these guys, gets my stuff?
No, I'm talking about say you're the police in this.
Oh, you're the police?
Yeah, you're the police in this.
I don't know. What could you do?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Think of an idea.
I have no idea.
All right, Adel, what would you do?
Or hire an investigator.
Yeah, see, what they did is they sent out to all of these people, you've won the lottery. Here, come and claim your free ticket,
That
your
is
prize.
smart.
And they just sat in this stadium, and as you walk in, there was all like people going, yeah, you've won.
And then arrested.
And then when they walk in, they're like, thank you very much, you're under arrest.
That is so smart.
Genius, so you should send out these people. You've won the lottery, mate. You should try this out. It worked amazingly well for them. So just send them all out things. Say, yeah, you've won the lottery. Come to this place. They'll come. I'll charge you commission on your commission.
Okay, this is good. This is
genius. This on
But
YouTube.
I have to bring it in a proper way in order to get the money.
Commission.
For sure, 50%. Absolutely. A lot
If
of
you
my
do
friend.
it, please tell me and like film it, because that would be like.
But he doesn't have the problem of finding them. That's to
You
find.
do in some situations, no, to get them to respond. They're just
Okay,
non-responsive. Like, even if you know where they are, if they're just ignoring you, then your next step is court. But this way,
We don't go down directly to court. If we will try with them for 1 month.
tell them they've won the lottery.
Yes, tell they won the if they win the lottery, they will pay. If they didn't win the lottery, we have no option but to take a legal action. Frankly saying, we are mentioning to our auditors, especially whom I'm trying to avoid us, or they are promising us and they are running away. See, we are trying with you, but you are not responding. If you are continue not responding, then we don't have any option. You did not leave for us any option but to go for a court. We don't want to go.
When you go to court, or when you take legal action, do you have lawyers working for you in-house, or do you have to, does it cost you money to do legal action?
It's external.
So you're paying.
Yes.
So you could pay and not recover and just lose money on that.
Well, for the court fees, for the legal fees, they have to pay.
Who has to pay?
The creditor or my client.
The client pays?
Yes, the client pays. Yes, the client pays. And there was cases which still we didn't collect. But the legal system today is completely different. It's much faster.
Oh yeah, it's not years anymore.
No, it's not like before.
Oh yeah, because I heard
You
before.
heard this, it's completely-
Okay, obviously I'm not going to mention names here, obviously for obvious reasons, where one company owes another company money, and the company's like coming to collect. And he's like, I'll even give you a discount if you just pay it. He's like, Habibi, this is why Bahrain is an amazing country. we have judges, we have a court, we spent all this money on it. Go to the court and take your money there.
So
Because it used to take like so long.
before, yes.
So how long is it now?
There is few cases. Yani, didn't take more than 6 months, maybe.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
From A to Z.
From A to Z. From A to
6
Z.
months.
From A to Z.
That's
I mean,
lightning fast.
in Dubai, I have heard there's a fast track.
It's a fast track.
Fast track.
You can pay
yes.
extra for fast track.
Well, you will get the judgment within 10 days.
Wow.
But it depends on the documentation.
Is this like a loyalty scheme? Take 10 people to court, unite for once
but
fast.
the lawyer will review the documentation, will make sure that, yes, we can take it to the fast track.
It's cut and dry.
Otherwise, we have to take it through a normal process.
This is interesting. When you say documentation, this is interesting. Like, what is the minimum requirement? Does the client have to have signed it, stamped it, or is our terms and conditions that we put in a contract, is that legal? If it's not, or does it have to be like based on Bahrain law?
See, the agreement which you have made it yourself.
We made it
or
ourselves. Let's say we've made it ourselves.
through
No lawyer.
No lawyer.
No lawyer.
Okay. Well, I advise you to do it.
Through a lawyer.
Yes.
He's the lawyer.
He's the lawyer, so you have someone. So he will know.
I'm wondering how much your contracts hold up.
So, for example,
my contracts are yet to be defeated.
for example, you'll say if you didn't pay on time, I will charge you 2%.
Yeah.
Is it legal again according to
Is
Bahrain
it?
law?
That's a good question.
Or not? That's why you have to do it.
Do you know if it is?
Via a legal. I'm not charging.
It doesn't
I'm not charging my clients. I'm charging my clients only the commission.
No, I know what you're charging. I'm saying like, for a business like.
I think in UK is legal, no?
So there's different ways. It's called the war of the forms. So it's not that simple, as things lawyers like to make things complicated.
To charge more.
Possibly, but like, let's say we're doing business together, and you send me a contract, I sign it. But every invoice I send you, on the back of it, I've got my terms and conditions, which say something different to your contract. But every time you accept, you pay my invoice, which means you're accepting my term every time. So it's called war of the forms.
Is that the case here?
It's not the case.
In Bahrain, does a contract or agreement in these documents have to be like the king's paper, the 1 dinar paper? Or it could be anything?
Frankly saying, I'm doing on my letterhead the agreements.
So the letterhead's fine?
Or sometimes the agreement, it comes from the client itself.
Yeah. And in terms of, you said like communicate messages, emails, you're using these in court or where? The communication that you're looking at?
Well, you mean a part of a proof? Yes. I can say, yes, I have communicated with them. He replied to me that he's going to pay. Or, yes, this is 4 or 5 messages I have sent him. He didn't reply, but there is a one message. He said, I'm going to pay you. So let us see what was. So it will be strengthened.
Yeah, the case. Do you record the phone calls when you call them?
For the quality purpose,
for training quality purposes. I thought it was for legal purposes.
Because what will happen? But for sure, yes. For training purposes, it's very important.
Can you use it in court? The recording.
Call recording. We have not used it yet. We have not been asked.
I'm curious because like
during
the
the 18
movies,
years,
you don't get a legal wiretap, so you can't. It's not admissible in court.
We have. I mean, you have the documentation.
Yeah.
You don't need a call recording.
Why would you need it?
Well, you have the proof in your hand.
Yeah, it's unlikely. Look, I have a separate question because Hussain, he loves talking about technology far too much. We all know that you do, Hussain.
Listen, you're the one with cryptos and NFTs every episode.
Do you think this is going to turn into like the future of your industry? Do you think it'll just be done by like AI? Like, why would you go to a person to do this? Because every step that you've just said is just like tell AI to call them 10 times a day.
Send emails.
Send email.
Started already.
Oh, it has?
Started, yes. There are some systems which is AI, machine learning. Because I'm searching. I have 2 options.
Okay.
Either to go for a ready-made,
Yeah.
okay,
Or
okay,
build your own.
or I have to develop it, not myself,
Yeah.
through an IT, and to have more AI features. For sure, not all the features you can go for AI. There are certain features you go for AI or just automate it.
So you think this is the future of your industry? It's just
Yes,
done by.
absolutely.
So you'll be sitting at home, you'll press get money, and then robot brings you money.
I will tell you something, story. I was reading an article, maybe it was in January, February. The best collector or the best performer who
It's gonna
brings
be
in
a
money
robot.
in a specific collection agency in China,
Oh, it's definitely a robot.
she was not a human. She was not a human.
It wasn't a human. What was, so an AI outperformed people on this.
Phone calls or what?
Phone calls, maybe. I'm trying to find it, dig it, but I couldn't find it. How this collection agency, they did it, but it's an amazing.
Did they say like what was the amount difference? Was this
No.
like $1
No. The
or like
best-
$100 million of difference? No. Wild.
The best one, she was not a human.
That's insane. That's insane.
How they did it?
Siri, go get me money.
Siri, get me my money. Call the letter. Send them a demand letter or send them a message.
Far out, man.
Well, see, with AI, for sure will make I'm not going to say your life easier, but AI, how can I bring it? More accurate, time, save you time,
Efficiency.
efficient. Okay, you'll be working on more cases today. If I don't have an AI or an automation features within my system, I might spend I can call maybe 50 to 60 data only, but with the AI and automation, I might call 120 to 150.
Yeah.
So are you going to do this in your business? Are you going to find that robot in China?
He's looking for systems already.
I'm looking for her.
Yeah, looking for her. Okay.
That's so
I
funny.
have an interesting question. Have
Better than my AI question.
No. Have you ever had a case where you felt so bad for this person that you're collecting from that you're like, I don't want to do it?
Why should you be emotionally invested?
Like, but that's my question. Do you ever get, because humans are involved, right?
At the end, we are human.
Exactly.
We have emotion. We have feelings as well. Yes, I feel sad, but at the end, I have no option but to collect. I have an agreement with my
Because
client.
you're not emotionally invested. You feel sad, but that's not the same as being emotionally invested. Emotionally invested, you're like, and you're going to do something about it.
Have
I will
you
tell you a
had?
story.
Have you hadn't? Yeah, that's
I'll tell you
one
a
of the
story.
story.
One of the stories. Okay.
There was a puppy farm.
Someone used a service, her mom or grandma name to use a service. We got the case. How come? She's almost 70, 75 years old. What she's going to do with such service? And we have no option but to visit. The amount, I think, is quite a little bit big. 600 or 700. It's not big, but...
This is a consumer or business case?
No, consumer.
Consumer.
Case. Consumer case. From past experience.
Okay.
And when we have visited her, she was 75, almost 80. I said, what's happening? She said, why you are here? We are here because of, I said, why I'm using? Then we found out that one of his son took the CPR and registered and stopped paying. And it was a sad moment.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very sad moment for me. I said, how come?
So what happened in this case? Did you
I
still
think
collect? Did you collect from this old lady?
He paid at the end. He paid at the end. But yes, there is. I mean, within collection, because you are dealing with humans, and we are dealing with different type of humans. Okay, who is someone honest, trying to run away, try to come with a story, try to make his wife or his mother or his kids sick. Because from the experience, you will come to know, you will come to know that yes, okay, something is not proper, and no, from first call, no, we will never ever, and I always tell my collector, Don't think that the guy is defaulted. Okay, take this case. It's a fresh case. Just work on it. Okay, you communicate. The guy is trying to run away. Or you think he might run away. No, just pick up the phone and tell him who you are from where, and what is the reason for call. Then you will know how the debtor is communicating or behavior. Then you will come to know, and then you have to have a strategy how to. But yes, there is sad stories.
So you've given me another question there. So you have people who work for you doing this, like calling and stuff, right? When you're doing the interview, do you hire people who've got like really deep, scary voices?
Well,
I am Batman.
I used to interview, but now because I'm focusing on B2B cases, I'm not. I don't have.
You're dealing with it yourself. So now you're doing it yourself.
Yes, only B2B cases on a local and international level. But before, when I used to interview, and I used to tell them, see, when you call, when you communicate with the debtor, okay, you have to be gentle. You have to be, professional. You have to go. You have to negotiate in a way. Respect to be there. So they will start do the same, but what they will get in return, okay, trying to run away, escaping.
Yeah. This is why the
AI. I was gonna say it's the
works.
opposite. Gentle doesn't work.
Sorry,
the gentle way, doesn't get results. I don't think. When you're asking someone for money in a debt situation.
Okay, see,
You gotta scare them.
it depends from.
Don't sleep at night because we're coming.
You cannot. I mean, from first call you pay. Otherwise,
No, first call nice. First call's nice.
First call.
what you're saying,
Then
that's nice.
gradually,
It gets harsher.
Gradually, you will put more.
So the last phone call is with Batman voice. I'm coming.
No,
for you.
don't think that. But for sure, I have to make you pay the amount.
Yeah.
There is an outstanding amount on you.
What you've just described to us has explained why the AI outperformed humans, because it doesn't care.
It doesn't have emotions. AI doesn't have emotions.
But I'm not going to say that the collector, they will not collect.
Of
no,
course.
they are collecting,
Yeah,
they are
yeah, of course.
performing, they are trying their best in order to collect. And till today they are collecting. And tomorrow, they will continue. But if you use AI to help the collector himself, it will be a difference.
Oh, so it's not making the phone calls.
It's a tool. It's a tool.
Like, dear Hussain, please pay money.
AI sounds better than that these days.
There is when you receive a phone call, there is a call come to you. You will just open it. Hello. This is your last reminder from, and you have to pay. Oh my God, it's a machine.
I want to check something. Your office number.
Oh, it's a robot.
Is it marked as spam? Because I swear when collection companies
16?
call it, true caller is always spam, spam, spam. Don't pick up. Not you, but I'm saying most debt collection companies.
They put and true caller.
It's marked as spam.
Yes,
what number do you have for your business?
It's 16, but still not active.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the telephone provider to.
Okay, so it's not spam yet. It'll be spam in like a few months.
But as I said, I'm not working on consumer.
Yeah.
So
because you know, whenever I get a call from like a collection company, you know, like, oh, this phone bill, $10, you didn't pay it last month or whatever it was, it just comes up red. Spam. I'm like, okay, don't pick up. I don't even know who it is. If it's spam, I don't even pick it up anymore.
What they will do, I think they will save it in Truecaller somehow. I don't know.
Because people save it.
People save it.
If you called me for that, I'll be like, this is a spam in Truecaller. Now everyone using Truecaller will get spam when your number calls.
We had gone through the same. I think it was in 2015, and we have communicated with Truecaller themselves direct
To remove it from
cannot be. No.
Hey, it's P2P.
Did they remove it?
I don't think so.
I think
It's social.
I think I'm not sure.
I'm sure you can get verified.
It's
But
social.
we told them yes. It cannot be like this. We have to.
And by the way, I'm not actually. It's not even just debt collectors. Even like people selling you something. These are the ones I get spam. You know, when they're like, "Oh, do you want to sign up to this? Do you want to buy this?" Especially the telecoms.
The actual spam.
The actual spam is marked as spam as well. Yeah. So it's really interesting.
It is.
Yeah, you know. I'll tell you in London how my worst experience with a debt collector. I had a parking ticket, okay, for my car. The ticket was £40 or something. How much in those days? 40 or 50 pounds a parking ticket. In London, what happens? If you don't pay the parking ticket, in 2 weeks, it becomes double, it's 100. 2 weeks becomes 150, 200, 250. It just keeps increasing. The longer you take to pay the ticket, the more expensive the ticket gets.
I see.
So I had 2 tickets. The tickets were going to an old address, an old family house. I never saw the ticket. I had no idea, right?
Right.
So I didn't know I had these 2 tickets. Then what happened? I was going on holiday the next day. I was about to travel the next day. I get a knock on the door. This big guy, like you say, right? This big guy comes and he's like, oh, you have this car. This is the number plate. I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Your car is parked out. Your car parked outside. I've clamped it. You owe £1,000 for these 2 parking tickets. So they became £500 each, these 2 tickets, from £50. So you owe £1,000. You can either pay it, or here's what's going to happen. In 2 hours, I'm waiting for the tow truck to come. They're going to take your car to an auction. We're going to sell it. We're going to collect the £1,000. And if there's a difference, we'll pay you back. What do you want to do?
What did you do?
Pay it immediately.
Absolutely.
So
No, I was like, imagine. What bothered me about this was, imagine I did go on holiday that day, or the guy came 1 day later. I would have come back from holiday,
thought your car's
like,
stolen.
where's my car? It's gone. And they'd be like, oh, sorry, we sold it for this £1,000 ticket.
I'm
They
pretty
sold it
sure
for-
And
you
no one
studied-
told me.
I'm pretty sure you studied law, didn't you, for some modules? And
Yeah,
stuff?
business lawyer.
Yeah, because you didn't have to pay that ticket.
You did?
No, you didn't.
Well, I don't.
In that scenario,
I don't know.
there was something called the postal rule.
But if
He should have used the
But
postal
if
rule.
that was the case, I literally would have come back. There'd be no car. It would have been sold.
And you would have been able to sue the government.
Really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
See the guy.
See, these are the tactics they use over
He give
there.
you 2 option. He give you 2 option. Other, but he's authorized to do so
Apparently,
legally because he's from the government.
he's saying that no, but
No,
apparently,
he is, but you also have a giant recourse in England. If you send something by the post and that person doesn't receive it, you haven't transmitted in any other way, you accept all responsibility of them not receiving it. So you can say, due to the postal rule, I didn't, because this is...
because I didn't receive anything.
So
Yeah.
there's a law that covers you in the situation. It's not your fault you didn't receive it. They sent it to the wrong place. So now you say, postal rule, sorry, let's start again now. And then that counts as, like,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing, but basically, yeah, you could have done something about
But I
it.
was like, my luck
we
that
can-
he came the day before. Because if 1 day later, my car would be gone.
Yeah.
We
Know
cannot
the
do
law,
it
people.
In our first call, there's a debt. Either you pay or we'll take it to legal.
Yeah.
Maybe the debtor who wants to pay said, because if you talk to me in this way,
Yeah.
I'm not going
going
to
to
pay.
pay. So you lost it. So that's why negotiation or the way you are talking from the beginning with the debtor,
Yeah.
it makes a difference. Some of them, they will
Yeah.
respect it and they will pay. Some of them,
How do you apply a travel ban? What's the process of banning someone from
But you
traveling?
really want to know about travel ban.
No, because I'm wondering, like, is it do you have to go to court first, or is it something you apply
No, no,
directly?
you have
Like,
to.
Court, bro.
You have to register in the court. You
so the
cannot-
court puts a travel ban.
Corporate
Yes.
travel bans.
Okay.
Because they're such a hardcore thing to do to someone.
I
They
think-
typically don't
Go to
do
the
it.
police station. Yo, you owe me 50 quid. Travel ban.
I think
You
now-
get a travel ban. You get a travel ban. You get a travel ban.
But I think now with the travel ban is with the new execution law, I think, there has been change in the law and the execution. I think it was implemented in March, I think 2022. About, I'm trying to remember the clauses because I have been through it once. I don't. About travel ban, I think it depends on the judge now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because I don't say something, then later on I will find out that it's the opposite. Even if you take it to jail because of you as a debtor, I think it depends on your financial situation. Yes, you cannot pay, so I can do a travel ban on you. We cannot put you in jail because yes, if you put in jail, how you can pay?
Yeah.
So I think this is the new law, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the judge will go through the
For
documentation.
B2B,
everything.
travel bans are very good.
Yeah,
For
it's
B2C, you shouldn't really be traveling bans.
Because the only reason I ask this is because I used to hear stories,
But
and
again,
probably their
Hussain,
stories.
I need.
To clarify.
I have been through it in March. I've been through it once. So I'm trying to just memorize it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I remember what...
I mean, the reason I was saying this because years ago, I used to hear stories of, this guy was traveling. He had a 20 dinar bill, and apparently he couldn't fly.
20 dinars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this true? Like you can? I was like, you could just travel ban him.
No one was doing that.
You're gonna pay your bill, man.
That's unconscionable. 20 dinars.
Apparently, and they got stopped at the airport. Can't leave.
For 20 BD?
Yeah.
That is unconscionable.
Phone bills for telecom.
Whoever did that, you know, it might look like I'm heartless, but like you have to have some sense in you. 20 dinars, you put travel ban on someone? That's impossible.
They will do like this.
I'm saying, could it be just gossip? But like, these stories were common, you know.
No one would do that. No one in their good conscience.
Let me tell you a story. We were communicating with one of the debtors, and he said always, I'm going to pay, or he's not picking his phone, promising and breaking his promises. So what's happening with this guy? Are you going to pay, or we'll take a legal action? He was continuing not replying. Then we have the client. This is situation what? He said, just take it to court. We take it to court. I think it was in 2013 or 14. Or 2000? No, before maybe. It was before 2010. Suddenly in the night, I receive a call from the same detail. I said, I'm traveling to Dubai. I cannot. I'm trying with you to pay, and now you are traveling. You cannot. I cannot do it. He said, remove the travel ban. I cannot remove the travel ban. I cannot remove the travel ban.
It's the court.
It's a court order. خلاص يعني once the court ordered finished. No one, unless you pay, and I cannot do it from myself. I have to go back to my client. Say, I cannot. You have to go and pay tomorrow, and then the travel ban will be removed. Otherwise,
did he pay?
Yes, he paid.
I
said, I have a meeting. Said,
like,
you have to pay it tomorrow. You have no option.
It's like, otherwise, I know some nice cafes and hotels in Bahrain you can go visit. Because you can't go anywhere.
I think travel ban is not like before.
Yeah.
The judge will see the situation.
Relax now.
Yes, then we'll decide. Even the jail itself, I think the judge will decide.
All right, well...
Which is good, Danny.
It's much better. It's much better,
yes.
to be reasonable.
That's why the change has been laws, and I think it
makes sense. Makes sense.
But in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia as well, the commercial law, in UAE as well.
Perfect. All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's been a very enlightening conversation.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Hussain Omar.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Hope we could stay for more, but
That is what it is. We'll see you guys next time.